Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. One of the holidays where you really want to spend your wine dollars wisely, because you usually have a fairly big crowd, at least some of us do, is Thanksgiving, and that's coming up very shortly. I promised I would do some episodes on Thanksgiving wines. And I've kind of gravitated away from Zinfandel. I don't know why. It's a very popular wine. One of the reasons behind using Zinfandel is it's big, juicy wine that matches up well with savory foods. But last couple of Thanksgivings, it's kind of been disappointing to me. So I'm reaching out and trying new stuff as I ask you guys to do it. Why not me, right? So one of the wines that we did pop open, I think it was a couple of years ago, and it was well received, it was really nice, was a Writer's Block Grenache from Lake County, California. And everybody loved it. I got to thinking about it. I thought, yeah, Grenache is a nice match with Thanksgiving because, it's not super high in tannins. It's fairly low in acidity. And it can be higher alcohol like Zin, except not quite as powerful as Zinfandel can be. So we're going to try a couple of Grenache, or Garnacha, as they call it in Spain. And another Grenache we tried recently, and you saw, I have an episode actually coming up on that. I don't know if I'll include it in the Thanksgiving, but is Canonel di Sardinia, which is also Grenache from that island in Italy. So that's why people have a problem in the wine world, really, you think about it. I mean, there's all these different synonyms for the same grape. Don't let it bother you, though. If you like a wine, you like it. If you want to do the research and find out about it, find out about it. If not, don't worry your little head about it. Unless you get around a bunch of wine snobs, most people aren't that concerned. But it is interesting. All you have to do is Google Grenache and you'll find out all the synonyms. Synonyms, not cinnamons. Synonyms, if you really care. So, let's get started. This is the 2015 Alto Venom Evodia Old Vine Grenache. I think it's interesting. Now, this is a cool area. It says Varietal de Aragon. Aragon is one of the 17 autonomous regions in Spain. Autonomous meaning that they rule themselves. It's kind of like the United States, but probably not exactly. But there's these 17 regions. They have their own judicial system and all of that. Inside of Aragon are several regions of wine growing. And Calatayud, where this is from, Calatayud is one of those regions. Now Calatayud is pretty interesting because it's surrounded by the Sistema Iberico, which is a series of mountain ranges around, and it's practically surrounded by those. So there's some high elevations in there. Even though it's very hot and dry in this region, because of those higher elevation vineyards, you get more moderation in growing these grapes. That's kind of cool. So you get some really nice wines of Calatayud. One of the more powerful regions for Grenache in Spain is Priorat, and a lot of people love Priorat. I do. And then, of course, Grenache is grown a lot in northern or southern Rhone, where it makes up a big part of Châteauneuf-du-Pape and many of the Côte de Rhône blends there. In fact, one of these programs I might actually review the Sablé, which is a really good Grenache, 100% Grenache from the Rhone Valley. Anyway, because of its lower acidity and lower tannins, I think that you would do well to serve Grenache at Thanksgiving. So we're going to give it a try. Not sure if these would work. This rolls in at $10 US, 10 or 11 bucks, depending on where you shop, maybe less. Evodia, 100% Grenache from Calatayud in the Aragon. There's a mouthful. Let's see what we get on the nose. Interesting nose. I'm getting some barbecue spices. Oh yeah, and on the bag there's Eric Solomon. I believe this is an Eric Solomon wine. Yes, it's an Eric Solomon wine. He's a pretty well-known importer. The vineyards were planted 100 years ago. The elevation is 2,400 to 3,000 feet. So there you go. Uh, I want to read that on the back. He has a nice little diatribe there, but on the nose I get some barbecue spices, tobacco for sure, a little leather, and I'm just going to shoot for dark fruits because there's not really any particular fruit that stands out to me. It's burning my nose. I'm assuming it has decent alcohol, 50%, so it's not lightweight in that area. Excuse me. Yeah, maybe a little bit of cherry, but I get this dark berry kind of cherry thing going on. Let's see what we get on the palate. Sloppy. See, I like this wine. It's light on its feet, but it does pack a punch. I mean, I get tobacco. I get almost a raspberry cherry thing going on the palate. Light on the acid, so you're not going to get that heavy acidity. I think this would be perfect with the savory elements of Thanksgiving. Turkey, stuffing, that green bean casserole. This would work really nice with those. It's light enough that it won't intrude on the meal, because a lot of those flavors are very subtle. And so you want a wine that has good flavor, has good juiciness, but at the same time doesn't overpower the food, which is what I've experienced with Zinfandel. Nice balance. I mean, good flow. It's delicious for sure. A little bit of minerality on the backside, but not too much. A lot of New World palates will like this wine. I think you'd be safe to serve it at $10. I mean, come on. That's a nice price point. Really, when you're thinking about serving 8 or 9 people, you could afford to buy 3 or 4 bottles of this wine. Of course, not everybody drinks wine that comes to the house. I like the raspberry cherry tones. I like the finish. Yeah, nice balance, nice wine. I like it. $10. I'm going to go straight up B+ on this. I think it's a solid wine. If you could seek it out, that would be good. Just remember, Eric Solomon is the importer. That's the label. It's kind of a cool label, nice looking label. And it doesn't say Grenache on it, but it is Grenache. And it doesn't even tell the region. It just says Aragon, but really it's Calatayud is where it comes from. Solid wine. Good start. Now, let's move on. A little bit more money. This is the Ateca Garnacha Old Vines 2015, same vintage. This rolls in at $17. And again, on the back, they talk about the elevation of the vineyards. There you go. So I think that's one. Wow. I think I've had it before. It just doesn't stand out to me for some reason. Still sloppy on this pouring. Maybe I should just not call attention to it, I guess. You guys probably can't even see it. I do. Let's see what we get on the nose. This has a interesting, almost like a brown sugar component coming through. I'm getting currants, and like I said, brown sugar is what I'm getting. This is 15.5. See, who's the importer on this one? Can't find it. Imported by Gill Family Estates. Let me do the one Gill. Maybe you're familiar with that label. Getting a little bit of tobacco coming through with the currants. A little bit of earth action. Let's see what we get on the palate. See, That's what I like about this one. Now, I'm smelling this wine thinking, man, this is going to be pack a punch. And you put it in your mouth, and it's like, it just dances so nice and lightly on the palate. It's very Beaujolais-like. I mean, seriously, except for the flavors. You get a load of earth mixed with currants and a little bit of black raspberry coming through on this one as well. Good flavors, but dances lightly. I mean, if you get the idea. You know what I mean? It's like that little guy that he used to crack me up when I wrestled these kids. I mean, they were so small, some of the lightweights, but man, did they have the moves and the strength? It was incredible. I even wrestled with one of them once, and he kicked my butt. Nice balance across the palate, good acidity, but it's very low tones acidity, not very big tannins at all. Like you said, it's lightweight, but good flavors. I mean, currants, black raspberry, a little bit of tobacco on the finish, very earthy, very savory on the palate. I'd call this one savory for sure. Nice finish. You know, it's there, it's just hanging in there. Wow, I like this one. I like them both actually, but I really like this one. Just the slightest grip on the back end. There's a little bit of expansion on the mid palate of fruit. The currants and the black raspberries kind of come, you know, they pop up, they ramp up just a little bit, and then it smooths out. Very nice wine. This is a real crowd pleaser. Now it is $17 versus $10. It's $7 more, but I'm going to say, to be quite honest, it is $7 more wine. It really is. It has just this a little bit more intensity, a little bit more complexity. I like the first one a lot. Don't get me wrong. B+ is a great grade. When I grade wines, I don't give a lot of wines B+. This one's still lingering around, that tobacco and currant notes coming through. I like it. I'm gonna go A- on this wine. I think it's a solid wine. Good job, guys. Make a comment. Did you enjoy this episode? You know, I like to hear from you. I really do. It means a lot to me. I like it when somebody comes in the store and says, I like your episode. Where's that wine you tried? That sort of thing. Not all wines I carry in the store. Actually, I have neither one of these at the store right now. That could change. But I do think Grenache is a good call for Thanksgiving. Maybe it's something, if you haven't tried Grenache during Thanksgiving meal, I think it might be the place to go. And you can find a lot in this. You know, these are all under $20 easily. Very solid wines. Thanks for taking a few moments out of your day. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.